My name is Kevin. My name is still Kevin, and I'm father of our bride Michelle. I'd like to start by thanking you all for coming today. I know many of you have had to make long journeys. Your efforts are very much appreciated by both Glen and Michelle, and we hope you all have an enjoyable day. I would also like to formally welcome Glen as our new son-in-law. It seems very It seems very strange saying new son-in-law, as he's been such a large part of our day-to-day lives for such a long time. Glen is a man with a big heart and a kind nature. He is always willing to try and help and can be relied upon to raise the spirits when times are hard. He is a credit to his family, and we could not wish for a better husband for Michelle. Glen really loves his sport, football being his true passion. A word of advice at this point: do not under any circumstances play in goal when Glen is on the pitch. He will shut up. He will slowly destroy you. He has already broken his new brother-in-law's hand at least once, and that was playing against someone he knows. God knows what he does to people he doesn't like. As most of you know, Glen likes to wear shorts all of the time. Spring, summer, midwinter, 2 foot of snow, it doesn't matter. There were slight worries that he might rock up to the registrars in a pair of bright yellow surfing shorts, but thankfully he didn't, and I must admit he looks very smart in his suit. Glen will always try and help out wherever he can. This can be particularly useful with today's technology. If you don't know your dongle from your hard drive, give it to Glen. If it has buttons and a screen, he can usually make it work. His love of gadgets is only matched by his love of films, and especially comic book heroes. As we all know, for every Superman there has to be a Lois Lane. In Glen's case, his new wife Michelle. So to our lovely bride. For any parent, some of the most memorable and enjoyable times of having a child are in the very early years. At a wonderful stage, they have no idea what a theme park is. They have no friends, so they don't need picking up from the kebab shop at midnight. And best of all, they don't have an iPhone plugged into their head all day, every day. Unfortunately, these blissful days cannot last forever, and so the child grows into a young girl. At this point, they discover the joys of stupidity. Is there anyone else here today whose daughter thought it might be a good idea to nail a full can of deodorant to a bedroom wall?
It was hairspray.
No, I didn't do that. Just in case you're wondering, and I know most of you are, it does spin around like a Catherine wheel, and yes, it does make a proper mess. To keep Michelle entertained and to broaden her horizons, we took the dreaded path that all parents must one day take: hobbies. There is nothing basically wrong with Irish dancing or St John's ambulance, unless that means you happen to be the poor sod that has to drive back and forth on a rainy Wednesday night for the Champions League game on the telly. Not surprisingly, at that time there were very few job prospects for Michelle as an Irish dancing paramedic, so she had to look further afield for employment. Early one Saturday morning, we mentioned in passing to Michelle that she might want to start looking for a Saturday job to get some extra pocket money. 10 minutes later, we heard the front door close. 20 minutes later, she was back with a big smile across her face. "I have a job," she proudly announced. "I wash dogs in a poodle parlour." It truly was one of those magic moments that make you proud to be a parent. Michelle's dog washing skills could only take her so far in life, so in due course she set aside her brush and power hose and put all her efforts into being a teenager. The moody teenage years came and went amid the usual tantrums, attitudes and stomping of feet. However, the teenage tears soon turned to smiles and laughter when Michelle started to take a particular interest in a boy at school, her future husband Glen. The rest, as they say, is history. As Michelle and Glen start out on their journey through married life together, Glen will very soon discover the 3 things that every married man in this room already knows. Number 1, it is impossible for a wife to have too many shoes or handbags. Number 2, regardless of what an argument is about, your wife will always end up being right. She will continue to remind you of how wrong you were until she finally gets bored. And number 3, it is always the husband who gets up to make breakfast on a Sunday morning. The only exception to this rule is if you have not yet come home from the night before. At that stage, breakfast will not be a huge problem. I've found over the years that one of the best things about being married is that no matter what life throws at you, be it good times or bad, as a couple, you will always have each other for both friendship and support. In the words of the famous song, "You'll never walk alone." I would like to draw the speech. I would like to draw the speech to an end by voicing the thoughts of all here today in wishing the married couple every happiness in their future life together. And I ask you all to please be upstanding and raise your glasses and toast to Mr. and Mrs. Glen.
Someone else has got a speech. Right, ladies and gentlemen, family and friends gathered here, I'm Glen's father. I've got a few words to say to you here, and I'm getting a bit emotional, so here goes. To all family and friends gathered in this room to celebrate the wedding of the bride and groom. In this verse, I have tales to tell about a groom named Glen and his bride Michelle. It's how I feel and from the heart, so if you listen, I'll say my part. We love you both more than words can say, and so I stand here on this proud day. As best as I can, I will keep it clean and not too dirty, if you know what I mean. It will make some laugh, it will make some cry, so have some hankies ready to wipe your eye. I hope I can keep all my emotions intact, as no one has heard this, as a matter of fact. As my beautiful wife Karen, Glen's proud one, sits here beside me and whispers, "What have you done?" And so I'll begin and tell this story. It's not to embarrass, but to toast their glory. I hope you enjoyed their very special day, so I'll carry on now and have my say. Our firstborn son is now a man. The husband he will be the best he can. When he was born, he was held in our arms. He's grown up so fast with so many charms. Glen and Michelle met in high school. It was probably when Glen was playing the fool. He is so full of joy and so full of laughter. They knew we'd be together for here ever after. Glen and Michelle are a great couple together. I'm sure you'll agree they'll be forever. And as you can see, they're so much in love. They go together like a hand in glove. Ever since you were born, Glen, our firstborn child, sometimes we laughed, sometimes we cried. As you carry on life's journey and begin married life, you landed on your feet when you chose Michelle as your wife. Me and your mum, Glen, are so proud of you, and your baby brother Joel thinks so too. You and Michelle were childhood sweethearts, but we're glad you moved out, son, as we can understand your parts. When you were little and still a young child, you borrowed a bicycle and rode it so wild. You pulled on the brake and came to a stop, and when arsehole would sit as it came down on top. I took you to hospital and held your hand. You had to lay still but wanted to stand. The doctor put some stitches in your lip and your mouth. I had a tear in my eye and you tried to cry out. I still remember what happened to this day and wish with all my heart to take the pain away. Your mum came in and started weeping when she saw your face as you were sleeping. And so you grew up to be a fine-looking gent. Michelle by your side, she was surely heaven sent. You're both loved by your parents wherever we are, whether it near, whether it far. And so begins a new chapter in your life. Glen's your husband, Michelle is his wife. And just remember, there's one golden rule. You can't come back, Glen, as we have no room. And now you're grown up and flown the nest, I'm glad to say you were never a pest. You'll always be welcome to pay a visit, but leave the fridge alone because Joel eats everything in it. Everyone in this room know you're both happy, but wait till you have kids and a smelly nappy. You'll both be a great mum and dad, whether you have a girl or whether a lad. And so we welcome bride as he sits there with his bride. Both Karen and I, Kevin, knew they're a match that was made in heaven. As you may know, they are real movie buffs. And if you don't go to the cinema, they get in a huff. They're a joy to be around, I'm sure you'll agree, but don't disturb them during movie. Now Glen is a big football fan. He watches Liverpool whenever he can. We tried to get Michelle to watch him mingle, but she says, "No thanks Dave, I'll just read me Kindle." Glen and Michelle are both lovers of Glee. It's one of their favourite shows on the TV. As you can see, they love each other very much. It's so nice to see when they touch. To everyone gathered who've travelled so far, from nephews and nieces and nanas and grandpas, a big thank you all for coming along. So let's get drunk and have a sing-song. I'm almost done with my little ditty. I've tried to keep it clean and a bit witty. I've never felt so nervous and proud as I stand here before you and say this out loud. So as they take their first steps in married life, as Mr. and Mrs. Saunderson, husband and wife, Glen and Michelle, you'll never walk alone, as there's some blue noses in here who's bought Everton. Now that's me done, and so I'll sit, probably thinking, what a parlour. My eyes are red, my mouth's gone stale, I hope that someone buys me some ale. So I finally say to you all in this room, please raise your glasses to the bride and groom. Yay!